Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. My channel is about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. I've been married for about 9.5 years. I want to call this the Loveless Relationship with a Filipina. Now, I know, a lot of people say, yes, automatically these women love the foreigners because they're foreigners. Other people say, no, they don't love you, don't kid yourself. But let's face it, it does happen where there is a lack of love in the relationship. But it's a functional one, but it is a loveless one. So maybe we can talk about some of those signs here today. This comes from a Forbes.com article by Mark Travers, who I refer to quite a bit. And please subscribe here and leave a comment. Hopefully this stimulates some kind of comments. He says relationships often appear functional on the outside, yet get along, manage daily logistics, and rarely have arguments. Friends and family might see you as a solid team, and from the outside, everything seems perfectly fine, but beneath this smooth surface, you might feel a persistent, nagging emptiness, a sense that something essential is missing. Conversations may have become surface level. Intimacy may feel obligatory, and the connection you once shared could feel more like a distant memory than a present reality. If you've ever questioned whether you're simply going through the motions or fulfilling roles instead of connecting on a deeper level, it's possible you're in a functional but loveless relationship. Recognizing the signs that can be the first step towards reigniting that emotional spark or choosing a different path, hopefully not after you're married. Here are 5 signs that help you determine if that's the case. So I don't know if I'll break this down in the smaller pieces. I might have to, because I think there's some good content here. And let's start with this one. Your conversations are always practical, never personal. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong, of course, with practical relationships. Excuse me, but it's the personal aspect here that he wants to focus on. In a functional relationship, communication often stays at the surface level, primarily focusing on logistical matters. Conversations typically revolve around daily responsibilities, like coordinating schedules, managing household tasks, or planning finances. And while these discussions are crucial for running a household, they fail to nurture emotional intimacy or deepen the connection between partners. In contrast, he says, a relationship characterized by emotional closeness encourages conversations that go beyond logistics. Partners feel at ease, sharing their aspirations, vulnerabilities, and innermost thoughts, fostering a genuine sense of intimacy. They say researcher Michael Cardis from Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management emphasizes that meaningful interactions, such as heartfelt conversations with others, can be unexpectedly enjoyable and rewarding. If conversations with your partner rarely venture into these areas, and if the sense of deep emotional connection seems like a distant memory, it may be a sign that the relationship has shifted from being emotionally filling to merely functional. Now, I'm just going to say a few things here. Again, practical conversation, you need that. And I've got a whole playlist about communication. If you're going to have practical conversation, it does help if the woman's English is good. Now, English is not the main language there. There are people that speak English. I think most of them tend to be the younger ones. So somebody made a comment the other day that they know someone that's like 68 and her English is fluent, and that's fine. I don't know if they live in the Philippines or if they live over here. But if they live in the Philippines, I think it's mostly going to be the younger women. And so I think it's helpful to find somebody that You don't have to struggle with the communication part, the nuts and bolts of it. You're going to have plenty of conversations in the relationship. You are going to have to talk about, you know, I have to do this, and if your wife is working, when are you coming home, and who's going to use the car, and we got to, take care of groceries and line up the doctor appointments. And if you have children, of course, they're going to be a big part of your conversation, and many Filipinas want to have children. But yeah, it's running. The relationship is moving, but there should be a sense of deep emotional connection as well. What does that look like? Well, it may be you planning a vacation. Of course, you have to talk about that. You have to organize your work schedules. But you're doing it for the purpose of lining up something enjoyable and fun, like going to your favorite vacation spot, or you're going to go to something new. You have to spice it up. It can't all be talk about the bills. We talk about the bills and how we're going to pay the bills, and the bills are all paid. Something's wrong with the car. We can get that fixed. There's some physical issues, usually with the older foreigner. And so we talk about that, and you can get it fixed, but there's not necessarily a lot of fun. And if you're going through this, you'll be able to tell, yeah, we're managing, we're together, people see us, we seem to be doing good, and you are in a way. It's just it might not be moving towards a more intimate relationship where there is an emotional connection. Now, I think when you're talking typically older men and younger Filipinas, this can be an issue where you're thinking initially, yeah, we talk for hours a day, like my wife and I did back in 2015, and that was about 4 hours a day. Honestly, like I said before, I don't even remember what we talked about back then, but we managed to somehow, and we're talking a lot about what marriage would be like and getting married quickly, which we did in less than 8 weeks. But often with a younger Filipina, if, let's say, she hasn't been working, she hasn't borne a lot of responsibility in her life, maybe she hasn't had a lot on her plate, maybe she has, but it's possible she hasn't, and she's not really used to the busy lifestyle that we have in the West, and she might even feel left out, like, I can't relate to this, and she might just say, yeah, okay. But because it's just moving too fast for her. Try to look for signs before you marry her that you think you have things to talk about currently, or that in the future you will be able to talk about things, and that you will make a commitment to go out on dates, do things that you like to do. Because otherwise, let me know if you've known anyone like this. You'll have a situation which, you're married, and that's good. I'm a big marriage advocate. But you have some companionship, but yet if you're missing that intimacy, you're going to know it, right? And it's probably going to bother you. You might know the relationship looks good on the outside, and you might want something deeper than that. That's when you want to talk about, do you love me? What does it mean to feel and show love? Talk about the love languages. I think that can kickstart things. If you're familiar with the 5 love languages, I've got a copy of a short version of questions right now that I haven't gone over with my wife, but that would be a good thing. Like I said, we've been married 9.5 years, and our conversations are more than just practical. They are personal. I'm very, very interested in her life and helping her the best I possibly can. So we'll break the other videos topics down later. Let me know what you think here on Love Beyond the Sea.